Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Lewis Hamilton's response to qualifying last in Las Vegas, as well as some updates from qualifying. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me on X at James's Pit Lane, I'll leave a link in the description, but let's jump straight into the video. So that was a very chaotic qualifying in Las Vegas, and that was because of the rain. Before qualifying, it was raining and it continued to rain throughout Q1, and we saw the full wet tyres make an appearance. This is quite rare. We usually see the intermediates come out in the wet conditions, and then by the time it's ready for the full wet, it may be too wet to run on the track. But because of the low grip throughout Q1 and Q2, the intermediate tyres were just not working, so drivers used the full wet, and I thought all the drivers put in a really good performance in Las Vegas. It must have been so tricky in those conditions, but there were no red flags. I mean, yes, there were times where drivers ran wide, that was inevitable, but for there to be no red flag in those conditions, fair play to the drivers. I thought they were doing great throughout qualifying. Now, track evolution was key throughout qualifying, so it was about being on the track at the right time, especially in Q3, with the intermediate tyres becoming the more effective tyre, and it was Lando Norris who took pole position. He was just on it in Q3. He was nearly knocked out in Q1, but from then he was really strong, and yeah, he took pole position. And speaking about taking that pole, Norris said, "I knew the first two sectors were good. It's so slippery out there. As soon as you hit the curb a bit wrong, like I did, you snap one way, lose the car the other way, close to hitting the wall. Good enough for P1. Not the nicest of conditions, but I'm happy it stopped raining and we could get a good qualifying on." Now, Norris will start alongside Max Verstappen for the Grand Prix. Verstappen qualifies in P2. He put in a good lap as well. And speaking about the conditions from his point of view, Verstappen said it was really slippery out there. It's already slippery in the dry, and the wet, it's not fun. I like to drive in the wet. This felt more like driving on ice. It took a long time to get the tyres working. I do feel we were more competitive on the extreme tyre, but the track was improving, so we had to move on to the inter. We struggled to have any kind of grip. On the final lap, you risk a little bit more, but it was still by far not enough to fight for first. As for Ferrari though, they had a horrible qualifying, with Charles Leclerc only going 9th fastest and Lewis Hamilton qualifying last. Now, according to Racing News 365, for the first time since the 2009 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and Giancarlo Fisichella, a Ferrari has qualified last on pure pace, and it's also the first time in Hamilton's career that he's done that. Now, this was quite shocking from Ferrari. They look good in practice, but yeah, when you get to qualifying, they just really struggled for pace. And speaking about qualifying last, Hamilton said, as quoted by motorsport.com, "Obviously it feels horrible, it doesn't feel good, but all I can do is I've just got to let it go by. I'm going to try and come back tomorrow. I've done everything I could possibly do in terms of preparation, in terms of getting all the practice sessions. Today was feeling amazing in P3. I just didn't get a lap at the end, but I felt like we were quickest. And then you came out of qualifying 20th. This year is definitely the hardest year." So yeah, a really difficult day for Ferrari, especially as they try and look to get P2 in the Constructors standings. They enter this weekend P4 in the Constructors. And to see Verstappen in the Red Bull in P2 and George Russell in the Mercedes in P4, yeah, that's not good news for Ferrari, and perhaps Red Bull and Mercedes could gain quite a few points on Ferrari in the race. In terms of Mercedes though, they were called to see the stewards with George Russell and Kimi Antonelli. Basically, the squad was called before the stewards for an alleged breach of Article 40.1 of the sporting regulations, and this relates to not submitting a setup sheet to the FIA prior to the start of qualifying. So yeah, that could have risked disqualification. However, the stewards have heard that an IT issue prevented the email from reaching the FIA's inbox within the specified time, with a statement reading, "Although the FIA did not receive the setup sheet electronically in the specified time, the team was able to demonstrate to the satisfaction of the stewards, with copies of the relevant emails, that the sheet has been emailed to the appropriate FIA department, but due to some IT security issue, it was not received in the specified time." And as a result, no further action has been taken, so both Russell and Kimi Antonelli keep their grid positions for the Grand Prix tomorrow. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care.